We are playing on the fantastic Shape the Cube servers at shapethecube.net/whitelist. So we're back, and I think we figured out the source of the lag on the server. The mods say that it's cables that are Ender IO conduits that are in a pack, in a bundle, like two or more in one block, which we are doing right here. So we can switch this Yeta wrench to only show energy cables, and we'll take them out of these bundles. So that way there's only one cable per spot. So that's all good. All of these, we need to fix these. That should improve the server's lag and our base lag. It's not very convenient, but you make sacrifices when you play on a server. So now that that's done, I can run these same conduits right here so they won't connect, or they won't be bundled. Fix this little double connection like that. That should be better for lag. And I believe I need to find a way to connect this one. We'll run this along the ceiling. Perhaps this way. Once we get a few more of them. That works. We've got no bundled cables over here. I need to go clean up the Empowerer if I can. Yeah, so, do you think this right here, if this is the only spot in my base where I've got the bundled cables, think I can get away with leaving them like that? Or I bet I can do it a little differently. Because I am the biggest enemy of lag in the worst way. If I pull all those out and I just run it down one more, because it has to be bundled at the in and out points. It has to be bundled at the in and out points for the 4 display stands. But other than that, we can have them separate. I guess someone's base had a ton of cables and that was really causing a lot of lag. But just so I am part of the solution and not part of the problem, we're gonna do that. That looks good, doesn't it? There we go. So I think we've got both of these mining ores. They're coming up with some decent loot. I'm going to go ahead and connect that back up. Make sure this is extracting, always active. This is extracting, always active. So that should be pulling all the things into the network, and the things that remain in this chest are things that we need to deal with. I'm going to bring that back to extract. That'll empty this chest out. This chest is now totally empty. It's moved everything into here, and what we can pull into our network, we have. So I'm going to get rid of that. Pull that conduit out. That's not needed. Then we're left with quite a few items. Let's start at the top. Coal. There's a few recipes for it. Usually one's going to be better than another. We could smelt it to get 1. We can put it in a crusher from extra utilities to get 4. Why is there 2 recipes here? Enrichment chamber gives us 2. We don't have any of that. Our sag mill gives us 3 with a chance of a diamond, less than 1%. And a crusher gives us 3. So our sag mill is our best shot for that one. I think our filters, that's putting in flint. Flint gives it a bonus of output and power reduction. So we'll put coal ore to go into the sag mill. That will deal with those. Next on the list we've got redstone. We can smelt it to get 1. Sag mill gives us 8 with a chance of 9. But the crusher will give us 10. Guaranteed 10. So we want another crusher. Luckily, I've got all the stuff prepared and ready here for a crusher. This time I'm not going to do a double crusher. Simply because it's going to be automated. We've got all the time in the world for this one. So I'll put the crusher right there. That'll get power. And we can insert with a filter. Oh, it's inserting stuff. I don't want to do that. Put that back in there. I didn't quite want to do that, so until we get the filter set up, we're going to disable that. We should have done that to begin with. We disable the connection coming in, so it'll have nothing to stick in there. And then I'll connect that one up. And what do we want to put in there? Redstone? And lapis, I believe, is also going to be crusher. We could sag mill 8 for a chance of 9. We could crush for 12. So we want to crush lapis. Emerald. Ooh, we have emeralds. We can smelt it for 1, sag for a chance of 2. Crush for dust. I don't think I want to do that. Let's look at quartz. Sag for 2, crush for 3. We want to put quartz in there. Certus. Sag for 2. And that's about it. That might be better for a fortune pick, though. Because, like our diamond ore, we're going to have to, for now, place it down and pick it up with a diamond pick. That's going to be our best shot of doing that. So I'll put a filter on here. And I'll tell it to take lapis, quartz, and redstone. Put those back in there. And once I connect... Let's see, I want that white list. We'll connect that up, and it'll start taking in our redstone and processing it for us. That's good, I can dig it. What else do we have here? Cobalt and ardite. We can put in the sag mill, I believe. For 2 ardite powder and maybe some netherrack. So those 2 are going to be sag mill recipes. We're still going to need to add it to a filter here, the dusts, but we'll get to that. What's going to happen is they're going to grind up and they're going to get stuck in here, and then we're going to have to come down here and deal with it. There's one more thing I'd like to do. I want to disconnect that way nothing's going to get pulled or pushed into our drawers. I want to grab our drawer key, because these things right here no longer need to have a drawer assigned to them. since we're going to be automatically processing them, they can stay in the chest. Because all of our ores are now coming from that one location. We're not going to be mining and needing to go back and drop them off. I mean, we're not going to be coming back from the mine and needing to empty out our bags immediately into the storage network. They can just kind of hang out in here and process as the machine power frees up. So they'll just hang out here. As the sag mill gets capacity, it'll start pulling in items. And that'll be all fine and dandy. The dusks, however, I still want to have a compartment for them. Because the sag mill may run quicker than the smeltery, we don't know. Those don't have an in-between storage. Whereas our ores, they have this in-between storage right here that they can use. So now that I've got those drawers all locked and empty, I can connect that back up. Because if I would have left that connected when I unlocked these, it would just put random items into these empty spots however it pleases. But now that they're locked, it doesn't insert items into empty spots. Hey! What do you got? What are these? Oh my goodness. Gifts? Skeleton, creeper, and zombies soul vials. Painted glowstone. Thank you very much. I don't quite know why I'm getting gifts, but thank you. I'll take them. Apparently, you want me to make an aversion obelisk. Because we removed our powered lanterns, so now mobs spawn everywhere. And they're absolutely killing us. So we need to get a slice and splice, which requires, let's see, being a tormented enderman head into a slice and splice. You need to put soul vials into it. So it apparently will block all the things that we have soul vials of. And the glowstone is to help light the base so we don't get spawns. Oh, thank you very much. Thank you, thank you. So we'll work on that in a bit. That's going to be a fun little project for us. I'm also starting to line up items for our Tier 2 Void Miner. I like to do that as soon as we can. Because you see, we do need to build some sort of mob spawn prevention system. We've got mobs everywhere, including right there. So I didn't quite notice they actually gave me the aversion obelisk as well. So we could take and stick that. I don't think it matters what Y level. So we'll put it down here. Like right in the center of the room. Center is going to be right here, somewhere about there. It needs power. Okay. Needs power. So I want some power conduits. I've got some right there. I need those soul vials, which were in here. Skeleton, creeper, zombie. And we'll put our obelisk... Ooh! That sounded like an explosion. Put our obelisk right here. Why not? That's gut RF, and we put our soul vials in, and skeletons, creepers, and zombies will no longer spawn. Let's see what the range is in this thing. In this range, we won't get spawns. And I think we can add in capacitors to increase the range. Let's go ahead and build some capacitors to do that. That was awesome. I mean, I know we didn't get to watch this thing getting built, but that was some good charity. So they were also kind enough to give us a capacitor. Apparently, they want us set up. They want us set up perfectly. So let's take a look at that. I'm gonna put on Creative Flight just so I can take a look at that range. That is crazy. We now will not get mob spawns in this entire area. So if I go to... Let's both warp to spawn and then back. And they should despawn. So now we've got no mobs. Except spiders and that witch. I want to do the spiders as well. A soul vial is going to be a solarium and 3 fused quartz. So we know how to do fused quartz. We've got solarium, that's gold and soul stand. Let's go ahead and put a few of those together. So we'll put our fused quartz in like this. We can make 7 soul vials. That might be a bit more than we need, but that will be enough for... Well, we're going to need it for other things as well. So let's go grab one of these. I'll grab that witch and that spider. So we've got a spider and a witch. What is going on over here? And we'll head in here. Inside that we'll put in our witch and our spider. It's using 720 RF per tick, but we're maintaining. If I take out the witch, still the same amount, so we can... Yeah, we're preventing all those. What are we forgetting? I don't think we're forgetting anything. If we run into something, we've got our vials. We can go ahead and capture them and add them to the list. One quick note, I forgot to set that to extract always active, so it wasn't pulling stuff out. Now it is. This will keep on running. So, this is not running, so theoretically nothing should be in here. But we've got all this iron and stuff. And that's because it was extracting on the green, inserting it into our drawers, and then pulling it out on the red. And extracting on the red. But we no longer, that's no longer required to go in here. We want to go in on green. Insert green. I don't know why, but my tablet keeps thinking I'm saying, "Hey Siri." No. So we'll switch all these to insert on the green. And insert on green, extract on green. And then right here, we'll put in on green and we'll extract on... Because I don't want to make an infinite loop there. So that shouldn't cause issues. I mean, they shouldn't be pulling items out just to put it back into the same block. I'd think they would have dealt with that. Because default, it's both green. Yeah, I don't think that's going to cause us issues. So now this is taking things in from this chest and processing them. Now I know for a fact our Certus quartz ore, if we look at the recipe, you can see that it drops 1.5 normally, but we've got Fortune 3 on our pick. We put a bunch of lapis on it, so we get 3.3 per. And if I look at the recipe, a sag mill will only give us 2. And that's... nothing else can really beat that. So we're better off to Fortune Certus, Charge Certus, Emerald, Diamond, and this Benetoit, that we need to Fortune pick as well, because there is no recipes for it. As well as... let's see, anything that doesn't have a whole bunch of machines at the top, we're going to need to Fortune pick. I think that's all of it. And this Lawn's Delight shard, that's used to make witherproof blocks. So I'll put a drawer in for that. All the things that we're going to need to manually Fortune pick, I will put up here in the corner. Because I'm just going to grab them when I need some and Fortune pick them. And you'll see he'll pull all the rest of them out of the chest and stick them in here. I didn't mean to do that. So that's going to take care of most of those. We're processing all this stuff. Appetite, we get 12 in the sag mill. We get 2 out of the crusher. That seems very unbalanced. We get sulfur dust out of the sag mill though, so that's a no-brainer. We want to sag mill that. But I'm going to go ahead and assign these all wherever they need to be. Because we can pretty much tell, we'll look at whichever one gives us the most. And then we'll look and see if our fortune is greater than what we get out of the machine, we're going to fortune pick it. And if it's less or non-existent, then we're just going to throw it into one of these. So I'm going to go ahead and do all of that off camera. So our next step is, I believe we want to do with the next tier for the mining void ore miner, which is going to require about 4 stacks of vibrant alloy. So we need to make all the energetic alloy, and we're low on gold. So if I look up gold ore, we can see it's going to be about double the chance, at least double the chance if we use a yellow lens. So I'll take a couple clear lenses and make them yellow, and we'll go downstairs and swap them out. So we can come down here and we'll bust out that lens and we'll put in a yellow one. That should fire up again, and it's going to be focused on things like yellowite, pyrite, sheldonite, most importantly gold. We'll also get more glowstone, which is another thing we need. Restarting. Let's do this really quickly before the restart. Gold is another thing that we need for those energetic alloys. So a quick thing, remember when we wanted to make the last compacting drawer? First off, I tried using the squeezer to make the dust, and secondly, then I learned that we could use the macerator, and I felt like a big old idiot. Well, that happened again. I just learned that we can put obsidian into the block cutting machine to make 9 plates at once out of 1 obsidian, rather than using 9 obsidian through a macerator into the whatever. We can just do it this way and it's a lot easier. So we're now running into an issue where our sag mill can't run because it's not pulling appetite out. But That doesn't make sense. I've got an appetite drawer here. Well, if we look, it's got 512 appetite in it already. That's just not gonna do. We don't use a whole lot of it to begin with. So I'm gonna take a compacting drawer. I'm gonna put it over here. So now that I have that there, I can take some appetite, and I just want to assign appetite to that drawer and lock it with a drawer key, and I'll throw that key on it as well. So lock it, quantify it, and then I'll take our sticks, and I'll make a thing that's made like so. Wooden chest transporter. So I can take this and hot swap it in right here. So now that is connected. And I can take this, chuck it down right here, and empty it out. Unlock it, grab that, lock it again. So now it won't stick random things in there. That's why I moved it aside before I emptied it out. Because if I didn't, we've got things going into our storage network, and I believe it would dump stuff into that empty spot that we don't want there. Now I can stick it back and everything is good again. All this vibrant alloy we're going to need, about 4 stacks of it, for our structure blocks. Our ender pearl production is really not keeping up. And we've got 10 seeds just from harvesting them, and we got plenty of endstone. I think I'm going to reconfigure this so that we can plant more of these things and increase our output. I believe I want to do rows. I've got 4 rows. And I've got 18 ender lilies. That's about 5 blocks. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That should work out a lot better for us. Another solution to our ender pearl issue is we can just go to the end and hide under one of these pillars and then make eye contact with all the endermen. And once they all come over here and get wicked mad at me, I'll just take the shins right out from under them. So if you were wondering what it looks like when you put down an attractor obelisk in the end, in a very heavily populated Enderman area, that's what it looks like. I'm thinking we're at the point where we want to upgrade these to a tier 2 miner, which is going to require us to tear all this apart, because we're going to be using these parts to build our tier 2. So I'll grab all these out of the ground, give the storage system a chance to suck everything out of that chest, and we'll go craft some stuff. Looks like we're stuck on lapis. We must have our storage system full. I'm gonna have to do a compacting drawer for that too. Yeah. So I've got a ton of lapis. I suppose I can just put an upgrade in there for now. That is going to cause us an issue, though, going down the road. That should get that moving again. So to make our tier 3, we need 4 more of these tier 1 controllers. Those are going to go right here to give us our tier 2 controllers. And we need about 16 additional structure blocks. Those are here with, you'll notice, those 64 vibrant alloy, 4 full stacks, 2 stacks of diamonds. I've been working on this all night. While we're at it, we're going to need some modifier cores. We can now put modifiers in the tier 2. That gives us the ability to add modifiers. That is excellent. I'm happy about that. One thing I forgot is our assembler. I borrowed a friend's to build the first couple, which needs a tier 2 structure block, which needs, yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and make one of those. That's not too difficult. We've got our assembler. Let's head on downstairs and see if we can get ourselves into trouble. Oh, I forgot about this one. I don't really want anything in here except the mica and the clay. So I'm going to get our trash can and just pipe all of that straight into the trash. Absolutely you can play. Go to shapethecube.net. There's a button on there to get whitelisted. Fill out your application, and since Bubble's in here with us, he might just be able to let you in real quick. Not making any promises, though. I know the last person on my stream that filled out the application, just luck would have it, it took like 5 minutes for someone to read it through and whitelist them. He can, but I wouldn't suggest asking him. Usually they get a little cranky about that. You kind of just fill it out and wait for them to get around to it. That being said, they're really quick about it, for the most part. We've got all that going in the trash. That's empty. We can tear that one out. If I had brought my axe with me. We want to dig this out one lower. If we look in our guide, it's gonna be void ore miner. Tier 1 was 7x7. Tier 2 is 7x5x7. So it's gonna be one more. Extended out one more. So let's go ahead and chew this all out real quick. Our chest is empty. Let's go ahead and get that out of here. That doesn't need to come back. And I think we should be able to take these tier 2 controllers and place them upside down. That might be a thing that we can do. That's the center. I'll make sure I don't fall into that hole right there. Pick that up. No, I want the mica. What can I drop? Drop that. Drop that. Want my trash can and the conduits. So this one can go right under that. That appears to be a good spot. Let's whack it with this assembler and see how far we can get. Ah, no! Okay. Thought that was my hole to bedrock. I was a little afraid. You know, I'm just now noticing that I very clearly said we need to go one lower, yet I went one out in diameter instead. That's probably what's causing us our issues. So now that's all dug out, let's take another shot at this. Ah. I should be able to parkour my way on there. There we go. I think there's... Oh, it says assembly complete down there in the chat that you cannot see. Let's go ahead and hit this one. Assembly complete. We now have 2 Tier 2 Void Ore Miners. So I think we've got some cobblestone. I don't really want that. I want to use some stone to fill this whole thing in. I'll put away everything that I don't need. We can go in and fill in all the edges here. So I've got it all filled in. Let's plunk our chest down and see what we get for loot. I want to disable that connection if I can. Disabled. That, that's never active. Yeah, because see, that one was... No, that doesn't really explain it. How did I get a whole bunch of osmium? Maybe it defaulted to... Yeah, because I whacked it with a wrench that changed it to insert and started dumping random stuff in here. So that's still got plenty of RF. It's working. Let's let that be for a minute and see what it comes up with. So this has been running for just a short while. It's maybe been like 3 minutes, and we've already got all of this stuff. So that's excellent. And if we're really curious, we can look here in the guide, and it tells us that Void Ore Miner, the Tier 1 works every 400 ticks. The Tier 2, minimum of 64, so maybe if it has enough RF, it'll run faster. Or perhaps that's with speed modifiers. That's gotta be with speed modifiers. But it uses about half the energy. So that's cool. If you look here in speed modifiers, we need this mica. So we're gonna have to get... We're gonna have to work on a resource, the Void Resource Miner, before we get to that. So now, we've got our Void Resource Miner, Tier 1. I've got all of the required things. We're gonna get our structure blocks, and we're gonna go straight up to Tier 2 with them. That's gonna require modifier cores, laser cores, hardened stone bases, and a lens. And the lens, I already had a lens. I think we're going after mica so we can get our speed upgrades. And that's with a white lens. We can do that. White, clear lens, white lens, and our assembler. Let's not forget our assembler. So we'll head on downstairs and throw all this together. And that's going to take up a sizable footprint. I might as well just bring this whole floor down a level. Those are separated by 3, so I might as well... I wonder if I can do that. It's 7 in diameter. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I'm gonna have to do it like that. Smart person would have grabbed conduits. So we've got all our pieces. Take that, stick it back up there. I'm having deja vu. Why does he keep putting torches on it? And... complete? Complete. Cool. Should have grabbed more stone. So fill that in just to make it look pretty. And I did this one out of hardened stone just to look more resourcey. And we'll put our chest up on top of here. Come on. Where'd my chest go? Chest like that, and this thing should work extremely fast. Should. Except for that hole to bedrock. That pesky little hole to bedrock I forget about. Now we're complete. It's running now. Did I put a white lens there? So the white lens should be looking for mica. I'll let this run for a bit, and what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put... Let's see, I know for sure I want to save clay and mica. Got mica. Need clay. I hope it digs up some clay. Because what I'm going to do here is take an item conduit and run it from there to a trash can. This is going to extract never active. In fact, I've even got a lever. So I can say extract with active with signal. So if that's on, it's going to be active. So now we've got that filling up. If I turn that on, it should start pulling items out and inserting them there. Turn it off, it stops extracting. Cool. Now that we've done that, I'm going to have that on insert with a priority of 1. With a filter, and because I can't filter out all the items, I mean, there were a lot. It was different shades of slimy dirt and everything you can think of. So I'm going to blacklist mica, saying mica cannot go in there. And I'll put a chest right here. That's going to be insert with priority of -1. So it's going to try and put it in here. If it's blacklisted, it's not. It's going to put it into the chest. And I'll take this one right there And I'll say extract, but I'm not going to make it active yet. I want to make sure this is working. Once I get clay. I'll blacklist clay. And there's 3 other items we can keep. Let me wait a little bit. I think we want to keep... I guess nothing at the moment, other than clay and soul sand. So that's good. That's good. Let's start extracting. We have 1 mica and 1 clay in there. The clay and the mica both made it into here, so that's good. I'll now make this always active. And that's a functioning setup. The 2 things we want to keep are going into the chest, into the network. Perfect. With these 3 void miners complete, I think we're going to call that the end of the episode. If you have made it this far in the series, I really, really do thank you. I know a lot of it was very cringeworthy, but you deserve a medal for sticking with me this far. So that's going to be the end of it. Thank you for joining us, and make sure to tune in next time.